Saw you guys finished up practice today with some special teams work. And I know when I was looking at the numbers from the Carolina series during the season, you guys converted 33% of your power plays and held them to like 12%. So how vital do you think that is going to be in this upcoming series? I know we talk about the good goaltending you guys got against them, but how big of a factor do you think special teams was, and how much are you stressing it going into the series coming up?
Yeah, special teams are really, when the playoffs begin, really can be the difference in winning a series. And obviously our numbers look good against them, but, sometimes numbers can be deceiving. So obviously there are things you can take from the games that we played against them. We're going to have to, reset everything and be ready to go when we play on the first. It's just a whole different ball of wax right now, and we've got to make sure that we're thorough and there's clarity in what we're expected of our penalty kill. And obviously we did some power play work before practice today, so today really was a lot of special teams.
Hi, Coach. Vince just asked about the power play, so I'm going to ask you about, it seems like everyone is so excited about being back, and you got these scrimmages, they had the day off. How anxious are you to actually see that exhibition game next week against the Islanders?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're excited to get going and play a real opponent. That being said, under these circumstances, I think you really have to focus on the day-to-day basis, what you can accomplish and what to do. I think we're constantly gauging our players and where we're at physically and mentally, because like we've talked about, these are such unique circumstances, and we've just got to make sure we monitor our guys and put ourselves in the best position to win a hockey game on the first. So, obviously it's nice to know what our schedule is. I think that certainly helps in planning over the next 10 days what's going to happen.
Yeah, David. The last time you guys played Carolina, which seems like months ago, it is months ago.
It was months ago.
Years ago, let's say. The last time you played them, they didn't have Sammy Vatanen, they didn't have Dougie Hamilton, and you had Brady Shea. They didn't. How different does that make them on their back end when they have the depth that they have there, and it looks like it could be a series of strength on strength? Your strength is obviously in your top six, and their strength is on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, they're very deep on the blue line. I mean, they've got 9 defensemen that have had success at the National Hockey League level, but only 6 of them can play. I don't think they're going to be allowed to dress all 9. So, that being said, when you're in the playoffs, you're playing good teams and people have good defensemen. So, but when you add Vatanen and Hamilton and Brady, I mean, obviously there's an upgrade to any team when you had 3 players of that caliber. That being said, we've just got to continue to do what we've been doing to put ourselves in this position. We're going to play a good opponent regardless of who we're playing, and we've got to do the things that have allowed us to have success this season.
Hey, Dave. How's Kapo looking through 4 days? I mean, you mentioned him early on that he looked good, but has he sustained that?
Yeah, he has. It's part of the conversation post practice, and we've got the second group out there now, so we didn't really have a big discussion as a group. But he was one of the first guys everybody talked about. He continues to look good. He continues to play with a pace. He continues to play with a little bit more swagger and certainty to what he's doing. So it's been a good start for him so far.
Yeah, I want to ask about Gautier, because when you guys got him in February, things were happening fast, and he got a handful of games with you guys, but there was so much going on at that point. Now that you had the break and some time to kind of evaluate him, where do you feel like he can help you guys the most, and what's your message to him about what you'd like to see him do to sustain some NHL success?
Yeah, well, the simpler he keeps it, the more effective he's going to be when you're that size and play with that speed and can shoot it the way he can. I think when you don't overthink it and play a north-south game, I think he's going to be a very productive player for us. And he's still a young player who is developing, and we were fortunate enough to get him. I mean, obviously, we had to give up a great player, but we felt that he was a guy that could give us a lot of help here in the short term, but also big picture. He's a guy we think they can really count on moving forward.
Hi, Dave. I just wanted to follow up with Kapo a little bit. You've talked about him a lot, obviously, this year. An 18-year-old guy coming to a foreign country and all that. Do you think that the break maybe, and I'm sure the break helped everybody in different ways, but do you think it helped him more than maybe it helped some other guys just because it gave him a chance to go home and kind of work on his body and work on his game and stuff and come back like that?
Yeah, I think so. I think for sure, as we touched on all the things, all the challenges he had this season, I think being able to get home and recharge his battery and see a lot of familiar faces and get back to his homeland, and it just, it puts him in a different mindset. And he does know it, when he's coming back here, like I said, there's not a lot of uncertainty for him. He knows everybody. There's a comfort level here now, and I think it's just going to put him in a better mindset to play better hockey.
Yeah, David, again on Kapo, we know about the diabetes and all that, and I'm curious, in the last month and a half, as you started to understand the return to play plan and think about coming back, did you ever wonder or worry if you were going to have him because of the diabetes and because of the concern of, the higher risk if you were to contract this thing?
Yeah, the more information that we got and I got, there was that concern, and he and I had a conversation about it maybe 2 months ago, and when I brought it up to him, and it never crossed his mind about, what could be at stake and the fact that he might be more vulnerable to COVID. So obviously we did our homework, and I actually said to him, you should look into it from your end of it too, not just from the Rangers standpoint. Talk to your doctors back in Finland. Ask them if you're more at risk or how much more at risk you are than everybody else. And you need to be comfortable playing, knowing that you're not going to be more at risk than everybody else. And if you are going to be more at risk in the slightest way, we don't want you playing. I don't want to play. Obviously this kid's got a great future, and his health is first and foremost the most important thing here. And based on all the information we have and all the information he got, he's here and eager, and I don't think he has any concerns.
We focus a lot on Kapo, but you have other young players that we really haven't spoken about since the pause started again. How has Howden and Heedle looked, and how important do you think they're going to be in this plan?
Well, they're very important. When in the playoffs you need depth, you need everybody contributing, and we certainly like the season those two guys have had, in particular the way their season finished before we had to stop, and they look good so far. And it's we're going to need everybody. If we're going to have success, we need everybody. We can't have anybody have off nights and certainly long stretches of poor play.